Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Welcome to my first musical interview of the year. Do you guys mind introducing yourselves real quick?
My name is Dylan Kober, and I play dobro with High Lonesome.
And I'm Chuck Sitero. I'm one of the lead singers and songwriters of High Lonesome.
And I hear you're performing at Howlin very soon.
That's right, yeah. So Chuck and I and Liz Patton, the bass player, we're playing up at Howlin in Rollinsville, January 13th. And yeah, it's probably, I think it's like the fourth or fifth time we've been up there. We always have such a great time playing up there at Howlin. The people there are so nice to us. And yeah, it should be a blast.
So how did the band begin in the first place?
Well, I joined the band kind of after Chuck started it, so he can give you some more info about exactly how it started. But once I kind of joined it, we just kept looking for the right players to get the right sound that we were looking for, and kind of ended up with this lineup. So I kind of came into the picture partway, but Chuck sort of started the band.
So yeah, I started the band in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I moved here during COVID. And in the last 3 years, I've met all these people that are in the band now, and it's really working out right now because we're playing a lot of really good shows. We're working on a record together, and the sound is really good, so I'm happy with it.
And who are some musical influences that inspired you along the way?
I mean, what similar musical interests we have, Dylan and I, personally, we pretty much like all the same music. We like the Grateful Dead a lot, we like Fish a lot, we like Zappa a lot, we like jazz a lot. We have a refined taste, and I think we like to collect good music, you know?
Yeah, and from a bluegrass standpoint, you know, we both really like more of the East Coast sound, kind of the drive grass a lot. So that kind of pushed us together when we started playing together. We really connected over that, because we both, Chuck being from Atlanta and kind of growing up more in that scene there. A lot of the music that I was listening to beforehand, groups like Blue Highway and the Bluegrass Album Band, they just had a lot more drive to them. And so that kind of really connected us musically from more of a country music standpoint.
And how did you guys get started in music in the first place?
I'm almost 48 years old. I've been playing guitar since I was 6. So I can't even really remember why I started in the beginning. I think I just liked hearing my dad's guitar, and I started playing his guitar. I've been playing professionally now for 30 years, since I was 18. And I just kind of stopped playing a little bit for a little while. And then in 2019, I started this band. So for a while, I was just putting on shows as a promoter in Georgia. But I kind of have a traditional background where I was going to this place called Everett's Pickin' Barn up in North Georgia. So I did really cut my teeth on a lot of traditional bluegrass music. But that being said, Dylan and I, even though we're so apart in age and everything, we do have a lot of similar tastes in music.
Yeah, and I started playing guitar when I was 8, and I still play it today. And I went to school for jazz guitar performance. So I play a lot of different styles on electric guitar and acoustic guitar than I do when I play bluegrass. So I do a lot of jazz stuff. I used to play with a soul group in town, and a lot of kind of country things like that. And then I started playing dobro about 5 years ago in a bluegrass ensemble in school, and that kind of really started getting me into learning more about the instrument and really diving into the traditions of the dobro. So I kind of attached myself to people like Jerry Douglas and Rob Ikes at first, but I've really started to grow into listening to a lot of different players. Mike Aldridge has been kind of a big influence on my playing lately, and of course people like Josh Graves and Phil Ledbetter. I got a CD from a dear friend when I graduated. He gave me like a bunch of CDs, and one of them was this J.D. Crowe and the New South record, Flashback. I had Phil Ledbetter playing dobro, and I've probably listened to that record 1,500 times. So that's kind of how I got into bluegrass, was learning the dobro.
Are you guys more of a bluegrass-leaning band?
I mean, we can play traditional sounding bluegrass, but then we have a lot of songs that they're just musical. They don't really lend themselves to like a particular genre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when we play with the band, we've got a little bit more of a traditional sound because we have mandolin in the group consistently and oftentimes either a fiddle or a banjo as a fifth piece. But when we do our duo and trio shows, we kind of stretch beyond just bluegrass a little bit more. So we do some of those songs. We do really old country songs. We'll also do kind of more popular style music, Paul Simon, Shins songs, Bob Dylan, those kinds of things. So we sort of branch out a little bit more when we play in duo or trio shows because we have a little bit more freedom to explore those styles.
Do you play covers, originals, or a mix of both?
A mix of both, yeah. More and more originals as it goes, but we have a lot of originals. Right now, Dylan is actually the producer on our first self-titled record, High Lonesome, that we're working on right now in the studio.
And what is your favorite part about the songwriting process?
Well, I'm not really like a songwriter. I just do it because somebody has to do it. And I've been writing songs, for a while. And I like it, but I like connecting with people with my music, and I love seeing them sing the lyrics to it. But there's been a period where I felt like I had an imposter syndrome for a long time as a songwriter. But you're just kind of like coming up with a melody in your head and attaching words to them. And I don't know, it's not that hard for me. I read a lot. I have a pretty big vocabulary, so I think it's kind of easy to write songs, A lot of times they just kind of manifest themselves. I couldn't even tell you how I write a tune. And then Dylan, he composes like more, right now he's putting together more like instrumental songs.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I work on, a lot of it I write for different kind of ensembles. I've done some stuff kind of more in like the ECM record label kind of vein, things more like Pat Metheny or Pat Martino, that kind of stuff. But just kind of getting into more of the acoustic, trying to blend some of that influence with how it would fit in an acoustic setting, something that I've been working on lately. Just because, like I said, I went to jazz school and played with a lot of these different ensembles that included electric bass or keyboards and drums, and so composed a lot of that area, but just kind of working on transferring that to an acoustic setting and how all the different instruments work off of each other is something that I've been experimenting with lately.
And why do you like playing at Howlin Wind?
We like playing Howlin Wind because it's a fun community vibe there, and we love the owners, Zach and Melissa. Some of the best beer in the state of Colorado. I know that they used to work at Vision Quest Brewery in Boulder, which is really good. But anyway, these people that works there in the brewery, they worked there, and they have like really good beer there at Howlin. So anyway, we don't play there as a band. The band only really plays ticketed shows right now, but since Josh is going to be out of town, we're playing as a trio. We have another guy who sings a lot of the songs and writes some songs. His name is Josh Bergman. He's our mandolin player. And some of our goals right now, we want to play Telluride someday. We want to play Rocky Graph. We're not really a hobby band. We're going for it. We're producing a record right now, and we're going to start touring nationally. And we have like a pretty good little following here in the Front Range. And that's why we're working so hard, really, for them. They inspire us. And we believe in ourselves. So we just can't really get into a lot of venues in your area because like the bigger ones are like the Caribou Room, and that's really hard to get into. So just to have some kind of presence over there, we play at Millside Inn. I'd say the biggest thing that we do in your area is the Gold Hill Inn. We crush it there. I mean, we've had some really big shows there. The band just sold out Chautauqua about a month and a half ago, the community house, and we sold out many shows last year. So there's a good little buzz about us. There's also an article in the Boulder Weekly, if you want to check it out recently. I mean, it's a nice page. Also, have you checked out our website? HighLonesomeNewgrass.com. There's a lot there. There's a lot on our YouTube channel. You can really get the vibe from the band on some of these social media pages.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Howlin is they just have a really good community up there of people who live in Rollinsville and come over from Netherlands. And we've met some really interesting people there who love listening to our music. And we play there almost like every 6 to 7 months. It kind of seems like that. And we see similar faces a lot of times when we go back there. And Chuck and I have played there as a duo before, and we've played there in trios. So it'll be fun to go back up there. And it's always fun kind of sharing our sound with the people up there. And they're very receptive. And it's always a good time. We really enjoy that aspect about that venue, and they're always so kind to us and kind of bringing everyone together is a fun thing.
And what do you enjoy most about being able to perform live?
Some stuff that I really enjoy about it is connecting with the other musicians on stage and then being kind of a vessel for an audience to enjoy themselves. Everyone listens to music in different ways and for different reasons, and I think just being able to be a part of that piece is so fun. I enjoy playing on stage with Chuck and Josh and Liz so much that it's always, even if we're playing a song we've played 100 times before, sometimes you don't really know what's going to happen. And it's always just so fun listening to everyone in the band play and playing those songs and just kind of being a piece of the puzzle, like I said, everyone listens for different reasons. So whether it's the story and the lyrics of some songs that, not only Chuck writes, but songs that people know, or for a melody and an instrumental section, it's just it was fun being a part of that and being a piece of the puzzle.
And what do you hope that audience members take away from your shows when they come and see them?
I mean, we play a different style of bluegrass than most bands do here on the Front Range. There's just really nobody that has that East Coast sound that like we do, because that's where I kind of curated my sound in the last 30 years. So it's just a totally different style, opposed to the Samgrass sound here. It's like we're not a jam grass band, and we do improvise our solo work, but more like a mash grass band. We're not just playing like long, drawn out solos that feel contrived. We're just playing improvised short solos.
We have pretty tight arrangements for a lot of our songs, but it's kind of like, you get a chance to take a solo, you kind of do whatever you want. So we don't play the songs the same way every time, even if we have a pretty tight arrangement for it.
Yeah, and we're also looking at the crowd. We're not just staring at our instruments. There's a little bit of space that we have because we're familiar with our instruments. We know how to play them. So we can look at the crowd. We connect with them. We really don't have a filter on stage. You really don't know what's going to come out of my mouth most of the time. We're just really honest with our people. We only play venues that we believe in. We don't like to get pushed around, and we don't like to play venues that are treating other bands poorly. So we feel like we're in a union with other bands, you know what I'm saying? We're always fighting for those kind of rights. We just don't really support venues that are like vampires.
Yeah.
If a venue believe it, then we'll play it.
And I think another part of it too is the songs that we play.
Yeah.
Chuck's original tunes, and Josh Bergman, he writes some original songs as well. It's not really the thing that you might expect to come out of a bluegrass band in this area. And the cover songs that we pick as well are, we pull them from lots of different influences. We'll go really far back into country music, discographies for certain things, and we try to play songs that we find to be authentic and true to our style and try and make them our own. So some songs that we play, like this one Johnson Mountain Boys tune, Waves on the Sea, we've kind of given it our own flavor on there, and we try and pick tunes that aren't really hot, that hundreds of people are playing, but just songs that connect with us and that we think will allow the audience to connect with them as well.
And we're also big fans of melody and the right recipe of redundancy. We're a big Beatles fan. We like good, catchy songwriting. So like when we do play originals and covers, they're usually a good mix of melody, and we like something with a hook to it. You know what I'm saying? For example, we don't play in the same key the whole show, or we kind of change it up as we go. We don't play two slow songs. It may seem like it's not curated because we don't have a set list, but we're very careful and deliberate about the songs that we play.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about anything upcoming?
We've got singles from the record probably coming out in the next couple months or so. And then we're also doing Oscar Blues in Lions January 20th, and that place is always packed when we play there. So we're looking forward to that one again.
We really like our hometown support here in Lions and Longmont. We have a really large fan base here, and they just go to like a lot of our shows right now. We really love playing close to home.
Thank you so much to Dylan and Chuck for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. If you want to see High Lonesome performing live, you can check them out at Howlin Brewing. That's 51A Main Street in Rollinsville on Saturday, January 13th, 2023 at 4 p.m.
I couldn't leave fast enough even if I tried. It was just me and you, that was all I knew, that's why
And now, for this week's Music Mentions. Head to Busey Brews, located at 70 East 1st Street in Netherland on Sunday, January 7th at 2 p.m. to see Grant Livingston performing live. Head to the Diner Bar Ned, located at 121 North Jefferson Street in Netherland every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. for a karaoke night, and every Sunday at 6 p.m. for an open mic night. Also be sure to head there on January 5th to see Ava Sparks performing live. Head to Eldora Mountain Resort, located at 2861 Eldora Ski Road in Netherland on Friday, January 5th at 12 p.m. to see Beats at the Bass with DJ Darren, on Saturday, January 6th at 9 a.m. to see Beats at the Bass with Mista.Cal, on Saturday, January 6th at 1 p.m. to see Apray's Music Series with Lost Penny Duo, on Sunday, January 7th at 9 a.m. to see Beats at the Bass with Pistol Pete, and on Sunday, January 7th at 1 p.m. to see Apray's Music Series with Danny Schaefer. Head to Howlin Brewing, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville on Saturday, January 6th at 5 p.m. to see Windy Pines performing live. Head to the Jamestown Mercantile, located at 108 Main Street in Jamestown, on Friday, January 5th at 7 p.m. to see Backstabbath performing live, and on Thursday, January 11th at 7 p.m. to see Salome Songbird performing live. Head to Knotted Root Brewing every Sunday at 5 p.m. for Jazz Sundays. They're located at 250 North Caribou Street in Nederland. Most Sundays at 4 p.m., the Millside Inn hosts an open jam. Be sure to head there at 44365 Highway 72 in Ward to check them out for yourself. And finally, head to the Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, number 112 in Nederland, on Friday, January 5th at 6 p.m. to see Zazania Music performing live, and on Saturday, January 6th at 5 p.m. to see Calvin Locklear performing live. Did we miss you or your performance? Want to submit your music listing in the Peak to Peak area? Do you have updates to your business or to your performances? Please call 303-810-5409 or email info@themountaineer.com to be included in the next print edition or the next podcast of The Mountain Ear.
That's why I thought, is this the life for me? Turn around and say no, it's not. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. You said start again, find a new place and get some new friends. Forget the past, that's come and gone, now it's sad, it's sad.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.